Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1,
Anyone
2,
need a white
3.
balance?
Mic
White balance,
check.
anyone?
You can do
White
the
balance? You good? All right.
Brett, will you be making some comments?
Yeah, I am here.
guys ready? Does anybody have a question?
Tell us a little bit about the hearing this morning. Was it what y'all expected?
It was exactly what we expected procedurally. It was an arraignment where he entered an official plea of not guilty. We had a chance to confer with the prosecutors, which we had in the past as well, briefly, just to talk about discovery issues, when they're going to get it to us. There's a lot of evidence, as you can imagine, and that was confirmed again today, and so they're going to do their best and be as diligent as they can to get us the discovery.
Do you know why the difference between counts, like he's facing 29 counts and
We have our theories, and we're going to be exploring the evidence and assessing that.
In terms of the legal, I guess, kind of difficulties the prosecutor may have here, do you anticipate filing a motion to dismiss? Do you think that they legally, by the law, that they have a good case here?
Well, this is a case of first impression. We have not seen any evidence that would lead us to believe that Mr. Gonzalez is guilty of these allegations. What I mean by a case of first impression is that no Texas peace officer has been charged under this statute before, based off the situation that we're dealing with. So it's uncharted territory. We're going to avail Mr. Gonzalez to all of his legal rights, and so all of that will be determined at the right time.
Why did Gonzalez choose to show up today as opposed to waiving the right to arraignment? Like, how did you include it?
Well, when somebody is accused in a court of law, the citizen accused has a right to stand before the court and make a determination or make a plea of not guilty, and that's what we wanted to do. We also wanted to have an opportunity to speak with the prosecutors in person and get the logistics of working with this courthouse, this clerk, and this courtroom.
tell us about your client? What is he doing now and how those charges affect him?
Well, he feels he's innocent. He feels all he did was show up to try to help those children. I mean, look, there is justifiable righteous anger in this situation. I mean, our position is, should that anger be directed to Mr. Gonzalez? Our humble opinion is that it should not. We have not seen any evidence that would show us that it should. There was over 370 officers there. We have not seen or even heard of a theory of why Mr. Gonzalez is being singled out. Well, we'll get into that. From the table, we're just going to get into the case a little bit further.
Just real quick on that, just so it's clear that the judge decides where the venue. We don't make a decision or ask the judge where to transfer it to. The judge may get our input on it, but the judge will decide if there was a venue transfer. That would be the judge, not us.
Did Gonzalez talk to you today about his feelings going into court?
We've spoken to him a number of times before today.
And how did he feel going into court?
I mean, he feels he's innocent, and he doesn't understand why this attention is directed to him. I mean, he feels horrible that those children's lives were lost, but he doesn't feel he's responsible for it. Obviously, that there's a monster involved in this situation, and he is no longer within man's justice. I believe he's in eternal justice now. But Mr. Gonzalez feels he was just there to help these children.
Nico, I got here a little bit late, so we've already answered this.
Sure.
Why show up today? He waived his right to show up at arraignment. Why show up today?
Yeah, we answered that question previously. Yes, ma'am.
What message does that send to the families?
Well, that a man has been accused by the state, and that he is going to stand before the court and say that he's not guilty.
Can I answer a question for those of us who are not from here?
Yes, ma'am.
For those of us who are not from here, the process, what's the next step? Is there a hearing? I think you said there was either a contention hearing or something.
Well, there'll be a number of pretrial hearings to kind of see where we're at. The judge is going to want to gauge where we're at with the state and exchanging information, or them giving us the discovery and us filing motions that we may need once we look at the evidence. So this is going to be a long process. We've been notified that there's an enormous amount of evidence, and so that's going to take some time to get through.
And then will there be a hearing or something after that?
If need be, there will be several hearings.
Date to discuss. Was the next hearing date determined, or what?
September 16th is the next date. It's a pretrial setting just to make sure it's more of a status conference to see where we're at, how much evidence have we received, are there any questions. The judge has encouraged us to negotiate and to confer with the state if there's any questions on discovery before we file a motion to the court.
This is a state jail felony. Usually these cases don't drag on. This is different though. Are you going to talk about that and explain like the range of punishment that goes with the state jail felony?
Well, the state jail felony, as you may know, is 6 months to 2 years in a state jail facility, day for day. But the amount of charges filed against Mr. Gonzalez and the enormity of the evidence is going to take some time.
Can you talk a little bit about the process? Jason heard you in the courtroom talk a little bit about the digital aspect of it, the electronic issues that you guys are having. How does that play into that? Where are we with that, and how could that play out?
Well, that issue specifically was just the idea that we were trying to file motions, and the district clerk had kicked it back because it was a different judge, because obviously Judge Harrell has been assigned to this case, so the normal judge that would, I guess you would file the motions to. So that was kind of a technical issue. We've talked to the district clerk. She's going to help us out with that, and she's given me her card, and we don't feel like we'll have any problems. I think that the big issue as far as digital discovery is that it's voluminous. I mean, you know, there's probably more than 1 million documents, and there were several investigations that have been done by several different agencies on all of those things, and we understand that it'll take at least a month from this date just to get all of those things uploaded so that we can see it.
Were you guys surprised that your client was charged, that charges were brought at all in this case?
From a legal standpoint, yes. I mean, nothing surprises me. I've been doing this long enough. Nothing surprises me. But, again, this is a case of first impression, so I think that speaks for itself.
And you don't represent Arraignment, but have you guys had any communication with his attorney? Is there any insight into whether you guys will try to keep the cases together? Because that's the way they're playing out right now.
Yeah. Mr. Redondo's attorney is going to do what he needs to do for Mr. Redondo. We're concerned with Mr. Gonzalez. We're not tying ourselves to him. We're not trying to throw him under the bus or not, but we're separate than him.
When you said you were surprised that they brought these charges, why do you think? Is there any reason why you would want to say that the DA?
At this stage, I'll reserve that comment.
Do you have reason to believe any additional officers charged in this case?
We have no indication. No, ma'am, but there could be a potential conflict of interest. So our focus is on Mr. Gonzalez.
Well, it's the
Yes, sir.
judge's decision, but you will have to voir dire here. Do you feel like you can get
Yeah. Well, I think exactly how the discovery and the evidence that the prosecution is trying to bring matches with the indictment. And so all we're saying is we're not saying yes, we do think we can get a fair trial here, or no, we can't. We're saying we have to wait and figure that out. And then really with the judge, though, the judge makes that decision, and then the judge will determine if he makes the decision that the venue will be transferred. But
would you like this out of this court?
right now, we don't have any opinion about it. We have to see what the evidence is.
Can you just tell us spell your name for us?
Mr. Levin, how did you come to be involved in this case? Did you reach out to the defendant?
We don't reach out to any potential client. There was a lawyer that was involved on some other matters relating to this previously. He reached out to us and said that Mr. Gonzalez wanted to speak with us, and so we met with him.
And our firm does represent a lot of police officers who have been charged, and I think we've had some cases in Bexar County and some others where officers have been charged, and we represented and tried those cases. So, you know, as far as when a police officer is charged with any crime, we're one of the people that they're going to look to. We're one of the firms.
As far as we know, I'm sorry to interrupt. As far as we know, the district attorney obviously was not here. Are you guys expecting for her to be involved in this case, or are we seeing the special prosecutor take over at this point?
Well, the special prosecutor is serving at the pleasure of the district attorney.
Right.
So, I mean, that's there's not anything. He is not independent. He is underneath the district attorney.
I'm surprised that she wasn't here.
I used to be district attorney in Bexar County on
You were in the courtroom often, though.
I was in the courtroom. I made myself a show in the courtroom. So
In terms of this whole idea of this being a case of first impression, legally, what would the prosecutor have to show in order to stand this case up, in order to pass it through the appeals process and so forth? In terms of legally, there just seems to be some hurdles and some challenges. I'm wondering if you guys can talk about that a little bit.
you want to speak to that?
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, basically, the indictment speaks for itself as far as they have charged this in the indictment, and they will have to show or prove those elements of the indictment. And, you know, I mean, it's just like any other case, except the reason it's a first impression, I mean, obviously this charge has been charged all over Texas since the statute was created. but it's never been charged in this particular circumstance. That's right. And in, where somebody is obviously guilty, there is an obviously horrible monster responsible for the deaths of these children. And it's not Adrian Gonzalez. And he's not that person. And that's what we're here, and that's why he's here, is to say that there was that person, and that person's no longer here. And so for us, our job is to make sure that we get the evidence that they are and see if it matches their indictment. They've had this for 2 years, and they've had the ability to see how their evidence is or not. We haven't had that opportunity, and that's what we're waiting to do. Jason Goss, Goss.
Nico LaHood, Nicola, capital H, no space, OOD. Is that it?
Good.
Thank you.
Did y'all get the other name of the other attorney other than Jason?
September.